At my worst.
At my worst.
At my worst.
At my worst, I was someone who was trying to earn God's love and righteousness.
At my worst, I am controlling and unforgiving.
At my worst, I am self-centered and I don't really care about the needs of anybody else.
At my worst, I was a lustfully addicted fraud who was the life of the party.
At my worst, I had a broken family and felt completely alone.
At my worst, I was facing an ugly divorce.
At my worst, I fear rejection, betrayal, and abandonment.
At my worst, I was screaming at God and asking Him, why didn't He let me leave my husband before he molested our granddaughter?
At my worst, my life was consumed with lust for money, women, possession, and success.
At my worst, I was so deep in my sin and the shame that it brought me that I left my wife and my kids 1,000 miles away, sitting, convincing myself that God could never forgive me.
But I remember what Jesus did for me.
At my worst, I was judged and abandoned by people who were supposed to be Christians.
At my worst, I found myself HIV positive, the widow of an AIDS victim.
At my worst, I was running from God with everything I had. I medicated myself with alcohol, drugs, and women.
But I remember what Jesus did for me.
At my worst, I'm a workaholic performance junkie, sacrificing the things that really matter in life for accomplishment and the approval of others.
At my worst, was an angry, out of control person with a hole in the door behind me, and in front of me was my wife who was terrified of me.
But I remember what Jesus did for me.
But I remember what Jesus did.
At my worst, I was sitting behind my couch on the floor with a loaded gun, ready to take my life. But I remember what Jesus did for me.
But I remember.
But I remember.
But I remember what Jesus did for me.